Okay, TARDIS, why have you brought me here? Doesn't look like there's any danger, and there's no people disappearing or angels moving. Something must be going on. But what? Okay, just for good measure, I'll see what my something has to say. Now that's more like it. A wormhole's got a tear, and he's leaking space-time energy all over this area. Ah, this should be an easy job, but I better fix it right away. Ooh, space-time energy. That can be dangerous to the TARDIS. I know. TARDIS, I need you to hide behind one of those wall panels. Autopilot on. Good, she should be nice and safe there. Now I've just got to figure out the epicenter of this leak. Aha! It's just in front of me. Now I've got to close it using a... Hang on, what's that sound? Oh no.
What is going on? We were in the process of invading Tralenzor!
The Doctor lives. The Doctor lives. Silence will fall.
Doctor, you have made our plans ever so more fruitful.
Not if I can help it. You're going back where you came from when I close this crack!
It is too late, Doctor. Our armies are here. You will be deleted.
Okay, looks like it's time for me to find the TARDIS and get out of here!
Alrighty guys, I know it's been quite a while since I've done a video, but as you can see I've gone to quite the extent to show you the rest of the character building collection that I own. Now as you can see, it's actually quite variety and interesting, and I've actually saved the TARDIS mini set so I can do a full-on review of it and also show you a build. However, first we'll move on to the rest of the series. Now I've already showed you the TARDIS set, which we can see is over there. And now let's go and have a look at the other parts of the character building set. We can have a look at Series 1, Series 2, as well as some army packs which you can see along the back. Now some very interesting things, even such simple things as plain packaged figurines. And so let's have a look first at Series 1, where everything began. So this is my Series 1 collection. Now let me show you how these figures work. As you can see, this is a generic plain package box. Each figure costs $3.50 from my ABC shop. And as you can see, we've got a little picture on the front of the figures included. Now there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 listed here, despite the fact that there are actually more than that in the series. However, we'll talk about that in a minute. They're all sealed, as you can see, so you have no idea what's inside except for feeling. Now what I have noticed is there is this number printed here. However, when I opened these I didn't pay attention, so I'm not sure if there's actually a correlation between this number and what's inside. And if anyone knows an identification method for these, I'd love to know. Now once inside, you get given one of these. Now let's see what they are. In Series 1, we had the 11th Doctor, Amy Pond, 11th Doctor in a blue shirt. There's a Weeping Angel with a screaming face, the Drone Dalek, Cyberman Silurian, the Serene Face Dalek, Weeping Angel with the cracks, a Smiler with an angry face. Interesting to note that it says angry face despite the fact there was not one with any other face available. And then we have a Dalek Strategist. Now, you can see the figurines that I've collected. I have 3 of these Doctors, 1 of the Amy, 1 of the Silurians, 2 Cybermen, 1 of the Serene-faced Angels, as you can see with the cracks, and then 1 Drone and 1 Strategist Dalek. Now, each of the figurines also comes packaged with display base, as you can see here. It's got the Doctor Who TARDIS logo with DW with the TARDIS light and 2 little studs, which allow us to position our figures on them like so, for display. Now this is already hinting at the idea that possibly these sets are not designed so much to be played with as to be collected by serious Doctor Who fans. The Daleks, on the other hand, due to their large size, and as you can see, they have a lot more pieces. We can take off this comes apart, this bit comes off, and the 2 tools and the eyepiece are all removable. So, character building decided that because of the large amount of pieces in a Dalek, they do not come with a display base. Let's have a look at each figure individually. We've got the Doctor. Now, I actually think this is quite a good rendition of the Doctor. who'll be one of the best of the Doctors, because you can actually buy the 11 Doctors set in his typical brown clothes, and with a very nice little sonic screwdriver. Amy, who I've already talked about in the other review, has this set of clothing on. One of the ones from the very first episodes. Once again, I like her except for the claw kind of hands. Then we have the Silurian. As you can see, this is an interesting one. I think they've done quite a good job, once again, with these strange claw-like hands, but I think it works for this creature because it's not quite human. The only thing I think this one is missing is a gun, which is what these species carried in the episodes they featured in. However, I do believe that there was a special, of the 5 special edition available microfigures, one of which included a yellow Dalek, the Doctor with the ripped clothes, and an invisible sort of see-through Weeping Angel. There was also the commander of these Silurians, and she had a gun. Now we've got the Cybermen, so I think one of my favourite figures. Very close, and Cybers models, because you can see they've got that C printed on their chest. Weeping Angel, another one of my favourites, as you can see. It's got the serene face, which means it's not actually screaming. And it's also got the cracks along its body, which you might not be able to see very well. I'll see if I can... It's a bit hard to see. The only thing I don't like about the Angels is because these figures aren't bendable at the elbows, you can't recreate that famous Weeping Angel covering the eyes pose. That's sort of as close as you can get. And then the Dalek figures, which I think are also very, very good. I actually prefer them to some of the larger scale models of the Daleks. I think they did a very good job with the Daleks, and they've got plenty of movability in them. And in case I didn't mention before, these guys you can take off their heads, take off their legs, and as I discovered, you can now actually remove their hands too, although I haven't actually tried that yet. So which ones didn't I get of Series 1? Well, I didn't get this guy, I didn't get a Screaming Angel, and I didn't get a Smiler. That didn't really worry me. What's interesting is on the back of these, there's more of them. There's these armoured figures instead. So overall, Series 1 was pretty happy with that. But however, most of the figures were from Series 5. So now let's have a look at Series 2. Okay, Series 2. Once again, we've got the plain packaging on the front, and we can see the reappearance of some more newer characters. We've got another one of these little posters on the inside, which tells us all the figures available. Now we can actually have a look at them. Now, the first one is Doctor in different clothing. If we compare them, he's got black pants and a sort of brownie kind of grey, vomit more colour than this one. I actually prefer this clothing. What was interesting to note about my Doctor was that he had this funny sort of marking on his shirt because the paint had obviously not been applied properly, and his face and his eyebrows have been double applied, like printed on twice, so they're a bit thick and strange. Next we've got the Amy, which is in the same clothes from the TARDIS set. As you can see, this Doctor's the same from the TARDIS set, as is the Rory, and the River Song, which I don't have. Or not from these series, anyway. What's interesting to know about the Amy's is that if you look at their heads, one of them's looking right at the camera, whereas one of them's looking slightly sideways because they've been printed on the side of the head. As you see, there's the Rory character, and I've sort of started to like his face, but it's still a bit strange. These two White Supreme Daleks, I was waiting for these to be released. I think it was a clever move by them to spread the Daleks out. What does disappoint me is that there are no plans to release the Orange Dalek, which was only available in the Dalek Creation Chamber, which has been discontinued, and the Yellow Dalek, which is only available in the UK as part of the Daily Mirror magazine. Now you can see my 3 Roman Centurions. I thought they were meant to be Rory, they're actually not. Interesting use of the cape. I think that's very cool. And now, oh yes, the Silence. I really like these guys. I think they've done a very good job with the Silence. There's also a see-through Silence available, I believe, as a special edition. I think they've done a very good job with making the Silence nice and scary, with their business-like suits and their funny heads. And then we've got a Vampire of Venice, which is actually a fish person, and you can see she's showing her teeth, like that. And then the Cyber Leader, which is interesting because this is a Cyber Leader with the only difference being the black. But if you bought the Cybermen expansion pack Mark II, it actually had Cyber King, which has the brain revealed on a black head. As I said, all these except for the Daleks come with the little blue display plate. And once again, we can see that we've got a different back. And now, because we've seen the release of the sets, we can see that there is the small Dalek set, yeah, there you go, the TARDIS set, Time of Angels. This set, which I would have loved to have received, however, it's been discontinued in Australia, which is unfortunate. Seem to have plenty of these at the Cybermen set, which isn't quite as good. And as you can see, there's the big TARDIS Mega playset. So it's only now that we're starting to see that this is actually a continuation of this series. Once again, they were all priced at $350. So all up, they're actually quite expensive to collect. And now we can move on to the battle packs, which can actually help you get those figures that maybe you've just missed out on. The first of these, which is the last one I bought, noting that all of these have been discontinued in Australia, except for the new Cyberman one, at a price of, oh, there you go, $15, which isn't really that bad because you know which figures you're getting. We can see that we get 5 of these Daleks pre-assembled. Quite a good set for building your army. Makes it a lot easier than having to use CGI duplication, which I have no idea how to do in any of my videos. We go over to the next one and we can see that there's the 5 Cybermen, which actually did include little bases for displaying. And we can see that there's the 5 Angel set, which has Screaming Angels as opposed to Serene ones, once again with the 5 bases. What I really like about these is that it shows the rest of the series on the back of the box. So this was obviously released around Series 1. This was also Series 1. And this was also Series 1. The newer set with the Cybermen on it, actually, which includes 3 normal Cybermen, 1 Pandorica Cyberman, which is covered in rust and missing an arm, and the Cyber King, actually has a history of the Cybermen on the back, just here. And pictures of all the Cybermen included, which I think is very cool. So overall, these are actually quite a good buy, and I really like the character building series, and I think they've done quite a good job overall of making the models. The only ones they could possibly improve on is having too many of the figures special editions, because I don't think it should be considered reasonable that people are going to buy thousands and thousands of these to get one of the 500 in the entire world that has Riversong with a gun, or the Yellow Dalek. And I think one other thing is that the delayed time periods. Just as these were released a lot earlier in the UK, these were released months earlier in the UK than they were in Australia, and they didn't even tell Australians they were going to be here. They turned up one day, sold out that day, and they were gone again. So I think these sets have a lot of potential. They just need to really sort of improve on the way they're doing their customer service. And so now let's have a look at the final thing in this review, which is the TARDIS set.